Sometimes it happens in the quietest ways. You pause before sending a message, and something tells you to wait. Hours later, you realize that moment of hesitation saved you from regret or misunderstanding. You decide to call a friend after years, and she says she was just thinking about you. Or you meet someone and feel instantly that they're either dangerous or meant to stay in your life forever. No facts, no logic, just a pulse deep in your chest that knows. It feels otherworldly, like something or someone whispered to you from beyond the veil. Was it God? Fate? Angels? Or was it your own mind, quietly piecing together thousands of signals you didn't even notice? That thin line between divine whispers and subconscious processing has fascinated humanity since the dawn of thought. The ancients didn't question it. To them, intuition was divine. Socrates, the great Athenian philosopher, described a mysterious inner voice that guided him throughout life. In Plato's Apology, 4th century BC, he tells his judges about his daimonion, an inner spirit that always turned me away from what I was about to do, but never urged me forward. He believed it to be a divine messenger, not imagination, not reason, but a sacred inner guide sent by the gods. This voice never explained itself. It simply knew. In Islamic tradition, this concept appears as ilham, the divine inspiration that guides the heart toward truth. The Quran says, "And we inspired the mother of Prophet Moses, suckle him. But when you fear for him, cast him into the river and do not fear or grieve." Imagine that moment. A mother hiding her infant from Pharaoh's soldiers, suddenly certain that placing her baby in the Nile River is the only way to save him. Logic would scream against it. Yet something higher than logic, illuminated by divine, gave her courage to put her baby in river. The mystics of every age agreed that such moments were glimpses of a higher communication. Rumi wrote, "There's a voice that doesn't use words, only listens." Saint Teresa of Avila, the 16th century Christian mystic, called it infused knowledge, knowing without reasoning. Al-Ghazali, the 11th century Muslim philosopher and theologian, explored in his book, Revival of the Religious Science. When the heart is purified from worldly sins, a light from Allah is cast into it, unveiling truths beyond reasoning. Buddha described it as prajna, a flash of understanding that transcends the mind's chatter. So a question, is it justifiable to say intuition was not superstition, it was sacred? But as the centuries rolled into the age of science, that sacred voice was brought down from heaven into the laboratory. The mystery became psychological. In the late 19th century, Sigmund Freud revolutionized our understanding of the mind with his topographical model, dividing the mind into the conscious, preconscious, and unconscious. He suggested that much of what drives our thoughts and decisions originates from the unconsciousness, a deep reservoir of memories and instincts we cannot directly access. To him, intuition was not a divine whisper, but a side effect of repressed desires and accumulated experiences. His student Carl Jung, however, disagreed with Freud's reductionism. In his book Psychological Types, 1921, Jung described intuition as a legitimate psychological function, perception via the unconscious. For Jung, the intuitive mind was a bridge between the conscious and the collective unconscious, a vast field of archetypal knowledge shared by all humanity. In his eyes, the intuitive person was not irrational, but deeply attuned to the invisible structure of life. And what about the modern neuroscience? It only deepened the enigma. In 1997, Antonio Damasio and Antoine Becquerel at the University of Iowa conducted a groundbreaking study known as the Iowa Gambling Task. Participants chose cards from 4 decks. Some offered high rewards but greater losses, others lower but steadier gains. The fascinating part, before participants consciously realized which decks were bad, their bodies already knew. Electrodes showed subtle changes in skin conductance, sweat response. Whenever they reached for risky decks, the body was reacting to danger long before the rational mind understood it. This experiment demonstrated what Damasio later called the somatic marker hypothesis, the idea that our body encodes emotional memory, guiding decision-making through physical sensations. His book Descartes' Error argued that emotion and intuition are not enemies of logic, but essential partners in sound reasoning. The connection goes even deeper. Dr. Michael Gershon, in his book The Second Brain, revealed that the human gut contains over 100 million neurons, more than the spinal cord. This enteric nervous system communicates constantly with the brain through the vagus nerve, influencing emotions, instincts, and even moral decisions. When we say, "I feel it in my gut," we are not being metaphorical. Our body literally processes and signals information that our conscious brain hasn't yet computed. So if intuition is our body and brain making sense of hidden data, is there still room for the divine? Maybe the two are not rivals but partners. Because even if we accept that intuition is the subconscious connecting invisible dots, where did that capacity come from? Why does our biology include a built-in guidance system that transcends words and logic? It's as if evolution gave us a secret language, not of mathematics or speech, but of feeling. The psychologist William James once wrote that religious experiences might emerge from subliminal regions of consciousness. To him, the subconscious was not a lower level of mind, but a doorway to something larger, possibly the divine itself. As I already explained the saying of Al-Ghazali, when the heart is purified, a light from Allah is cast into it, unveiling truths beyond reasoning. Both Al-Ghazali and William James, though separated by 800 years, pointed to the same mystery. The heart and mind are not isolated instruments. They are interfaces translating between spirit and matter, revelation and biology. Think about it. Perhaps the divine doesn't speak to us in thunder or miracles, but through the only language we all understand, the quiet certainty that comes unannounced, the intuition that says wait when everything says go, the gut feeling that pulls you toward mercy when anger feels easier. Maybe the subconscious is the divine's messenger, a bridge between heaven and human biology. But here's the catch. Intuition isn't always right. It can be clouded by bias, trauma, or desire. The same subconscious that warns you of danger can also trap you in fear. Nobel laureate Daniel Kahneman, in Thinking, Fast and Slow, 2011, calls this the problem of System 1, our fast, instinctive thinking that's both brilliant and flawed. It reacts before reason, sometimes saving us, sometimes deceiving us. The human gut, miraculous as it is, can't always tell love from fear, and fear often disguises itself as instinct. That's why every spiritual tradition teaches discernment. In Sufi thought, divine intuition, ilham, must never contradict revealed truth or reason. Saint Ignatius of Loyola, in Christian mysticism, said true guidance brings peace and humility, not restlessness or pride. The mind, the heart, and the spirit must agree before one trusts the whisper. So maybe the truth isn't about choosing sides. Maybe intuition is the interface between two realities, the biological and the divine. Your subconscious gathers fragments of the world, smells, gestures, memories, and organizes them in silence. But what animates that silent intelligence? What gives it direction, meaning, and moral compass? Perhaps that's where the divine steps in, not as a supernatural interruption, but as the pulse of wisdom built into creation itself. Albert Einstein once said, "The intuitive mind is a sacred gift, and the rational mind a faithful servant." We have created a society that honors the servant and has forgotten the gift. He wasn't speaking religiously, but his words reveal a quiet reverence. Intuition is not an error of evolution. It is evolution's poetry. The subconscious may be its instrument, but the melody may still be divine. So the next time your gut speaks, when something inside you whispers, "Trust this," or "Don't go there," pause before you label it. Don't rush to call it fate or psychology or God. Let it stay mysterious for a while. Because maybe intuition isn't meant to be dissected, it's meant to be heard. Maybe the divine doesn't speak in verses and voices. Maybe it speaks through the electricity of your nerves, through the neurons in your gut, through a flutter in your chest, through the same system your mind calls subconscious. Maybe intuition is the sacred meeting point where the creator and creation briefly touch, and we, caught in between, simply call it feeling.